Auckland, New Zealand, Tāmaki Makaurau, Aotearoa, a vibrant cosmopolitan city of 1.5 million people, set upon a natural playground of 48 volcanic cones, nestled between two dramatic coastlines. This November, we welcome the world. The Hockey World League Final.
To play those games against the top teams in the world, I think that's what we're really excited about.
It's nice that they're coming to our hometown now and we get to play them here.
Argentina are always fiery. They've got the skill and they've got the potential to rip open any team.
They'll be a good defensive side and they'll just pop one in at the last minute and make you really work for a win.
It'll be a little bit different having England rather than GB.
They're on the up as well. Obviously, they're the gold medalists from last year. Another European side who know how to play hockey. They pass the ball well, they play a good team game, and they've got a few dangerous strikers up front.
Korea, always a really challenging side. Their basic skills are always really high, and the Dutch, they're like the pinnacle of world hockey. For the crowd, that's amazing to watch. For us, it's actually pretty hard to deal with. The USA have just done really well, actually. They won their World League semi-final, and we know that they're a really fit and physical team.
And the home team, the Vantage Blacksticks.
Obviously, we'll have lots of our own fans there, but to have like other people come over as well, I think that's really awesome.
Our turf, our time.
Our turf, our time.
The Hockey World League Final, November 17 to 26, Auckland, New Zealand. Tickets are on sale now from ticketek.co.nz.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in on this beautiful Sunday morning at the National Hockey Stadium in Wellington. The Ford NHL Finals Day. What a privilege it is to be here to witness the bronze medal match of the men's competition between the Rico Capital Cobras and the Southern Dogs. In commentary today, Chris Cosby, joined by the man himself, Ari Barrow. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. We'll just take a look at the Southern Dogs team. The captain, number 6 shirt, Nick Ross, he's been flown in, blown the team budget completely, flown down from Auckland, so watch out for him in the number 6 shirt. And Johnny Thorne there in the shirt too. Expect him to be sin-binned at some point, but he'll be huge for the Dogs today.
Number 10, Nathan Gilbert as well. They call him Nate Dog, fitting for the Southern Dogs. And we look at the Capital team list, stacked with talent. Obviously in front of a parochial home crowd, and looks as though Jared Jones is receiving congratulations from coach Hemant Lala. I don't think it's his first game, so I'd say maybe he's brought up the 50, which is a pretty awesome effort for Jared, one hell of a player. And if we look at their team, immense talent. You'll see that Blair Hilton he's gone missing. He's MIA today, so obviously didn't make the team bus. Which is a little bit unfortunate, but he won't be there. They do have Sam Miskimen, and I am told, I'm led to believe that he makes one of the best flat whites in Wellington. So look out for him to come off the bench and be an impact player in what is going to be an exciting match, Ari, where we've got two of, I guess, the teams that are they're followed by a lot of people around the country, and they've got a lot to live up to. They've been very, very good all week, and playing off for a medal on finals day, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, certainly, Chris. Obviously, we've got the home side here, Capital, the Capital Cobras in front of a large crowd, and then the Doggies. They're no strangers to medal footy, and they fizz for this. They love the big dance, and expect them to bring some early heat and some early noise. Just interesting there, looking at the Capital lineup in the 66 shirt. Sebastian Buttle been given the nod to start against his former team. Obviously, coach Hemant Lala just running the bench today. You usually wouldn't expect Buttle to start, so let's just see how that plays out.
Speaking of missing the bus, we apologise for the early viewers that had to put up with Aidan O'Connor and John Whiting on the commentary. Ari was a little bit sort of slow out of bed this morning, and didn't quite get here for the first game, but we're here, we're live, and Tell you what, Wellington, you can't beat it on a good day, can you, Ari?
Yeah, certainly, Chris, you're not wrong. Well, I don't know about you, 8:30 I was down at the lower hut domain waiting for Aidan O'Connor to pick me up. Obviously Ford, the major sponsor of the Ford NHL, was told there'd be a Cougar or a Focus on the way. But no pickup for the boys, so here we are for Game 2. The bronze medal between the Southern Dogs and the Ricoh Capital Cobras.
We're underway here in the bronze medal match, and under the services of Nick Saunders and Ben Wilson, they will control today's game. Nick Saunders from Christchurch, having played a lot of hockey for the Avon Club with you, Ari, so he'll know all about sort of argy-bargy confrontation, which is the Avon style of play, which is a very good call to put him on the game with the Southern Dogs. And for those of you that don't know, Ari was actually part of the Southern Dogs team the last time they played in the NHL final. Ford NHL final back in 2015. So I'm sure he'll give a little bit of an insight into the feelings and the mood in the camp as we move on into proceedings today, as Capital with the early position and looking pretty good so far.
Nick Ross breaking through. Yes, certainly, Chris. 2015 silver medal with the Dogs. Let me tell you, we're in, well, me personally, we're in the less flattering singlets. 2 years ago, obviously, Southern Hockey opted for the shirts these days. And a wise move, I would have certainly had a lock of sunblock on today. The capital city just turning it on.
Yeah, and if I can sort of cast my mind back to that, they gave you an extra small, which was at the size of you, probably not the best call from Southern, but I guess when you're sort of coming in from a different city or a different province, it's hard to be able to give it the right size shirt. But as we speak, Lockie Davidson, as cool as you like, the man from Taitapu in Christchurch, pulling on a Southern Dogs uniform, the number 13, puts it into the bottom corner, and 1-0 Southern Dogs. How good?
How good? Yeah, I believe down in the Dirty D, down in Dunners, they call him Lockie the Danger Man Davidson, and you can see there just pouncing on some loose pill in the circle, and Danger Man certainly 1-0 to the Dogs.
Something that his older brother Willie Davidson would be very, very proud of. Spanking it home to get us underway. Look, a minute and a half gone, early goal. The Southern Dogs, who were rank outsiders on the TAB, Ari, coming in at $4 to Capital sitting at $1.50. It's an interesting start to the game. Maybe that'll change the focus of Capital as they look to carry the ball forward with some early possession. Maybe against the runner play, but I mean, we've only been going for a minute. It's pretty hard to say any team's been on top, but a really good start.
Yeah, certainly, Chris, yeah. They did throw me an extra small 2 years ago. Quite often I'd have dibs on the large shirt on the hockey side, certainly in Christchurch, but Blair Tarrant, there was one large in the 18, and Blair Tarrant had dibs on that. So I was throwing the small, or the XS, and shit, there was some excess hanging out the sides. So, crash ball, and that's outside the circle, obviously, 16-yard hit.
Speaking of Blair Tarrant, we'd hope that he's tuning in on the other side of the world over in Holland. He's a beloved Southern Dog man. He bleeds blue and gold. And I'm sure he's probably enjoying a quiet space while he's tuned in at sort of 9 p.m. sort of Dutch time to see his beloved Dogs play off for a bronze medal. Southern Dogs have had a very good record in recent years, Ari. I think 3 of the last 5 years they've played off for a gold medal, and today they're playing off for the bronze. It's a hell of an effort for probably quite a small community, but they're very, very proud in what they do, and I think we're going to see that today in the way that they play.
Certainly, Chris, 3 recent finals appearances, obviously falling short this year by one hurdle, missing out in the semi-final yesterday. I think what would put that down to probably is the lack of Christchurch drafting of the red-headed left half from Canterbury. As Kieran O'Connor bursts forward, time off to the pocket. See you later, mate. Green card. Yeah, in recent years, the Southern Dogs always opting for a red-headed ginger, drafting from Canterbury. Jono Spence, Ranga Matthews, and myself. Obviously, no drafting this year, and no semi-final win. As Capital burst forward here.
Yeah, I think it's probably a positive for them that they don't have that sort of player at left half. I think it was quite known to teams to attack that left-hand channel in recent years. And if we've seen sort of throughout the week, they've stayed away from that as Lockie Davidson picks up the ball again. In there a little bit of space and another shot on the reverse which goes high and wide and over onto the bank. He's dangerous. That you did say he is known as Lockie Danger Davidson, and me oh my, he is in a lot of space up front.
Yeah, the danger man certainly, yes boy. He'll be a pistol game, watch out for him. Along with Kieran O'Connor up there running amok. Those two certainly backed in and behind by Nick Ross, obviously the skipper. That'll keep Bradley Reid and the rest of the Capital defenders well on their toes for the rest of this match.
As we see Nick Ross sort of controlling the mid. He's opted for the unconventional no captain's band today, but I think he's sort of aware that everyone knows he is the captain, he is the central figure, he is the leader of the Dogs. Fortunately for Southern, it looks as though Nick Elder, wearing the number 7 shirt, he's sort of running the low-cut jean option today, so I don't think he's going to be getting on the field. Looks as though he might have picked up an injury throughout the week. But if we look out for Malachi Bushell, wearing the number 3 shirt, he's a young player coming out of King's High School, only weeks ago playing in the Ranking Cup and going through the under-18 system this year. He's a very, very good young player. So look out for him to run amok with Nick Ross in the middle of the field, who puts another good through ball into the mixer, but not quite to the stick of a fellow doggy. As we 7 minutes into the game, Ari, it's quite a compact game, not a lot of to-in and froing, but I think as the game wears on and the bodies get a little bit more tired, as Harry Miskimmon makes a good run, can't quite get anything from that. I think it's going to open up definitely in the second half. The sun is obviously going to take its toll. It's going to wear some players down, and we might see some really entertaining stuff as we move on into the latter stages of the game.
Certainly, Chris, would expect that to open up. Both sides with a few early chances. Obviously, Lockie Davidson capitalising on his one early doors to put the Dogs up 1-0 as the youngster Malachi Bushell turns the ball over and bursts forward. Yeah, Nick Ross opting for no armband today. Chris, I noticed you just playing for the Canterbury Beavers started with the armband around the arm, later moved on to wearing it at the top of the leg there. Do you want to talk us through that?
Yeah, look, it's one of those things that probably not the biggest guy going around. So Ben was brought up his 50th cap and gave him the armband during the week, and he obviously stretched the band, which was a little bit unfortunate. So blew out a couple of the seams and didn't quite fit as we have 2 balls on the field here. You just can't be doing that. Can't play with 2 balls, as Nick Saunders quietly picks it up and throws it off to the one of the many ball kids we have, which is a great addition to the game. Going to help the flow of things and really allow teams to play their threatening, fast-paced game as things play on with just over 6.5 minutes left. So it's always good to have people following the game as well. So if you're at home and you're watching and you've got some comments, feel free to throw them up on the live stream, and we'll do our best to answer any questions you might have about anything, about hockey, about Wellington, about the Southern Dogs or the Rico Capital Cobras, about the Ford NHL, or maybe even the election. We're here to help and provide some quality and non-quality information about all things going on in the capital city today, as the Capital Cobras hot on attack.
Yeah, certainly, Chris. Obviously, we encourage any comments and queries into the Facebook feed there. Like you said, we will do our best. You can also hit up the text machine. That's 021 Broseph with a PH underneath. It's 021 Broseph, BROSEPH. Or you can Snapchat us, joe.bartholomew. That'll do as well. So we'll do our best there.
Speaking of 021 Broseph, we're looking forward to what will be an exciting Challenge Shield final. Obviously, Joseph, Bartholomew and the Harbour boys. There's Sam Skimmon, the man who not only runs a good flat white, but knows how to find the back of the net. Well, he enjoyed that as he runs off for a sub. Capital Cobras, they pounce. Muskimmon running the number 97 on his back. It's an interesting sort of combination of numbers there, Ari. But a well-finished goal. You've got to appreciate a striker who can put the ball in the back of the net and pounding the backboard, and fantastic effort from the Capital Cobras to draw back level with 5 minutes remaining in this first quarter.
Absolutely, we love field goals, Chris. I know South Canterbury do. And yeah, Sam Skimmon there, just capitalising on probably the first proper opportunity Capital have had so far in the match. They've had a couple of circle entries, but certainly there, and he took no prisoners and knocked it home. 1-1 first quarter, still with 5 to go. Both sides will be looking to push forward and take a lead into the first quarter intermission. Obviously, with that, you're not looking to concede as well. We got something on the text machine there, Chris.
Yeah, the text machine's blowing up. Liam Ethorn wants to know why Johnny Thorne isn't a black stick yet. A Vantage black stick. Ari, you might be able to tell us a little bit more about Johnny and the way that he plays the game and his style.
Certainly, Chris. Yeah, he's young, he's aggressive, he's hungry. I think at the Black Sticks trials as a shot. Oh! How about that? Me oh my, yes boy.
I have enjoyed that. Wow, number 4.
Just out of nowhere there, we were talking about Black Sticks trials. And he's just dinged one on the roof. 2-1. Capital.
Benedict Van Workum, he's just gone, look guys, give me the ball and I will find the back of the net. Not only the back of the net, but the roof of the net. And the Capital Cobras, from 1-0 down, streaking ahead 2-1.
And I tell you
we
what, Chris,
see the replay. It's a fantastic goal.
The home fans certainly enjoyed that. All around the embankments and the stands. Plenty of noise as that one just rocketed into the top of the net. And after taking the best of their 2 only real opportunities, Capital find themselves with a 2-1 lead still in the first quarter with just under 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, fantastic effort. We've got another text machine obviously blowing up, and people wanting to know how much we've made on the TAB. Obviously, we've been fully focused on what's been on offer in terms of hockey this week, so I haven't been able to put down any money. But I'm sure there's people at home that have been liking the juicy odds on offer, and you know that's sometimes sport's a little bit more interesting when you got a little bit of money on it. As we understand, the Capital Cobras coming into this game as the favourites, and after that early goal from Southern, they've been managed to put themselves on top as the TAB would have thought. But sometimes you got to bet big to win big, Ari. And for those of you that are on the Capital Cobras, we'll be happy with the early start, and 3 goals in the first quarter. You can't have asked for much more.
Certainly not, Chris. Yeah, I think Richard Story, a proud former Southern dog. I think Staffy just noted earlier, he might have 4 figures on the Dogs today. He's obviously just put a day's hospital wage on the Dogs. And at 2-1 down, he'll be in a bit of strife. But Southern's still looking very good, and you wouldn't rule them out just yet, certainly, Chris. As we see a slip in the circle, Buddle coming down the baseline, and out for a long corner.
Matt Moore losing his feet there. Not sort of the Trent Summers sort of ankle breaker of earlier in the week, but just sort of fell back onto his bosom, but got himself back up onto his feet pretty quickly, which is needed in the defensive circle. As Matt Moore gets on the ball now on the left half position and just opts for the conventional sweep into the midfield where Lockie Danger Davidson picks it up. He's dangerous wherever he is, on and off the field, and we'll look to see him run amok as Nick Ross carries the ball, and it's a aggressive tackle and an aggressive pass lifted, and quite rightly so, blown up by Ben Wilson. Ben Wilson and Nick Saunders here controlling the game very well, which is what you want to see. Letting the boys play, but also making sure if they break the rules, they certainly know about it.
Yeah, just going back to Liam Ethorn's question there on the text machine. Johnny Thorne, yeah, they had Black Sticks trials, sent out the emails inviting the trialists, and they actually sent it to John Thorne Sr. instead of John Thorne Jr. So John Thorne Sr., the manager of the Southern Dogs in the NHL campaign, turning up there, and obviously he was no good at right half. And so Johnny missing out on a technicality there, Liam, but he's got a bright future. So certainly watch out for him, mate. Thank you for your question. Got another question coming through, actually directed at Aidan O'Connor, just asking if he's teed up an NZ Hockey summer intern. We're not sure of his whereabouts at the moment. We'll try to get him in the halftime break, but we'll come back to that.
As we run down to the end of the first quarter, and there we are, the Hooter goes. Very evenly matched first quarter as the Rico Capital Cobras. A lot of hand slaps, a few smiles. They're pretty happy with that. As we sort of go back to the Hockey New Zealand. Hockey New Zealand made the big bold move in moving the tournament to quarter-final structure, following, I guess, the structure of international tournaments, Ari. And how do you think that's gone during the week? And you know, out here today, are we seeing, you know, teams that deserve their place in the medal matches?
Yeah, certainly, Chris. Obviously, making the adjustment to fit the international, how the game's played internationally at the moment. I mean, personally, as a defender, pretty sluggish. You know, I rate it getting a couple extra breaks a game. You know, 2 minutes. It's a few big ones you can suck in. We screwed the water bottle. I know it's huge for the coaches getting the rotations and the subbing done correctly. I'm sure at this level, the head coaches are more than capable. And what do you make of that first quarter, Chris? Obviously, Capital taking a 2-1 lead into the quarter break. Plenty of action, 3 goals. Pretty evenly balanced, I thought, but on the scoreboard, 2-1. With a couple of well-taken goals there by the Capital Cobras.
Yeah, if we look at the stats, I think you can see that the Capital Cobras 62% possession. And deservedly probably just slightly ahead. What I do like is that we've seen 3 goals in the first quarter. And, you know, that's what we want to see. We want to see entertaining hockey. We want to see teams that are throwing caution to the wind and trying to put the ball in the back of the net, because at the end of the day, that's what this game is all about. It's about showcasing the talent we've got on offer, and these 2 teams are really going to do that for all 4 quarters. So it's a really good start. 3 goals in that first quarter as Capital get us underway, and let's hope for more of the same in the second quarter, because the people here, the people at home, they want to see goals, Ari. They want to see talent. They want to see players performing as well as they can, and that's all you can ask for.
Absolutely, Chris. Yeah, 3 goals in the first quarter, into the second stanza, and as a fan, you'd be hoping for more of the same. Plenty of excitement, plenty of action, and 3 certainly well-taken goals.
As the text machine sort of blows up again, and we've actually got a wee message from Southern Hockey themselves, just sort of saying that you requested the extra small singlet back in the day, and I think people viewing last night assumed that you'd requested a extra small Beavers top because it looked as though that was pretty tight on you as well. So sometimes you've got to make sure that you're aerodynamic. You want to be able to get across the pitch quite fast, and that's probably something that you can't do, but I guess running the small shirt will help in a little way to get you across the pitch as fast as we come, as Connor Gurkus carries into the circle, and well defended by senior dog Nick Ross.
Certainly, Chris, and Wendy Wellington, you know, bulkfabric.com is not what you're after. You don't want to be flapping in the wind there. So I think I was medium this year, which I thought was pretty good for me. We had Benoas in the Triple XL shorts, and they were not flapping anywhere. They were tight, man.
You really grow into the shoot as the campaign went on as well, which is slightly interesting. Normally, you sort of shoot a few kgs as you put in the effort to get yourself to an optimum level of fitness, but sometimes it doesn't quite happen. Capital still putting the Southern Dogs under a lot of pressure into the second quarter. They play a nice style of hockey, Ari, don't they? They really get the ball moving. They sling it, you know, round and round, one-touch passes, getting guys to the baseline. It's sort of everything you want and nothing you don't in a game of hockey.
Absolutely, mate. Couldn't have said it better myself. As we look at the text machine, and Andrew Shirat, he's obviously foreign. Wanting to know about the actions of Tom Mellon last night. Obviously, Andrew, we've got a wide audience, and we can't disclose anything really that that Mellon got up to last night. Potentially in the men's gold medal match, when we talk about the actions of Mitch Hayde over the last couple of years, we might sort of digress on what Tom got up to. You know, while we're just sort of talking about pigs there.
As Danger Davidson again on the ball, but dispossessed quite well. Now, I heard a little rumour that the way that Lockie Danger Davidson's been playing this year, he's been playing up in the Auckland region in the North Harbour, and he's been playing such good code that his older brother Willie sort of didn't really want to turn up this year and be outplayed by the younger man. He's always sort of been one step ahead, but with Danger Davidson in the form that he's in, Willie decided to take a year off to have a sabbatical, and he sees his younger brother really running amok for the Southern Dogs once again and playing off for a bronze medal, which is a fantastic effort. The work rate, the stamina, the intensity of the man is quite remarkable, and he actually plays some good hockey as well.
Yeah, certainly, Chris. No senior Davidson Willie in the Canterbury Cavaliers this year. Just on the on Turf 2 just earlier, the Canterbury Cavaliers winning 7th place with a big win over Northland for the Spoon. But you know, look, the Cavaliers have missed him as Nick Saunders awards a penalty corner to the Ricoh Capital Cobras. You know, look, Chris, the Cavaliers have missed Willie, both on and off the field. And, from going from last year's final, beating finalists to Midlands to ending up in the spoon game with Northland, how much of that do you credit to no Willie Davidson?
Look, I think this tournament is really evenly balanced. And to make the top 4 is quite tough. And I think the quarterfinals really put the pressure on teams to, I guess, have to perform in a one-off game. Pool play obviously set themselves up for, I guess, a crossover match, and sometimes, if you did a little bit better in pool play, you had an easier crossover. But yeah, look, as we see another goal. Well drag flicked in there by the captain, Dane Lett, wearing the armband, stretching the armband out on a significantly, massively sort of bulging bicep there. And the Capital Cobras take a 3-1 lead. But yeah, I think, look, across the board, we've probably got quite an evenly matched tournament here, and there's obviously going to be some good sides that miss out on the top 4, and with the quarterfinals, the pressure was on, and these 4 teams, the Dogs and the Cobras, along with our 2 Challenge Shield finalists in North Harbour and Auckland, probably deserve their spots in the final, and the other teams battling away for those minor placings, they'll be disappointed, but I guess it is what it is with the tournament, and especially the Canterbury boys, I'm sure they'll be looking to rectify things moving forward.
Yeah, certainly, Chris. I think, Auckland and North Harbour, both topping their pools, obviously winning their quarters and semi-finals, so you'd probably say both of them deserved finalists, and that's going to be an absolute cracker later on in the day. So the Dogs just regathering, 3-1 down. They find themselves, after playing some pretty good hockey so far, so they'll be hoping to peg one if not 2 back before the halftime oranges.
Text machine is absolutely blowing up. Got another comment in here asking, why do hockey players run this sort of top bun scenario? That's a choice of sort of hairstyle, and look, I don't understand it, Ari. I think it's an interesting way to sort of have your hair, but for some people it's what they prefer. Obviously you've got to keep your hair out of your eyes as you're playing, and we see a number of sort of headbands out there, some keeping the hair away, some keeping the sweat out, and some just for fashion. As we see Benedict Van Workum, who's running the top knot himself, who slides in and looks for a corner and sort of asks Nick Saunders why he didn't get one, but to no avail is the Southern Dogs. And Danger Davidson again on the ball, some silky skills. I mean, look at the man go. He is quite remarkable, Ari. It's a pleasure to watch. It's really some really good code, and that's what we want to see today, isn't it?
Certainly, Chris. He's probably the pinnacle here at the 14 NHL. Really defines the word athlete. And still 7.5 out from half time. He's got plenty of impact still to make on this game. Already on the score sheet himself. And watch out for the danger man, Johnny Thorne Jr. with the ball at the back. Slaps it to Matt Moore. Yeah, the headband, Chris. I mean, functionally, aesthetically, probably both not very good. There's Buttle there with a headband. There's a few top knots out there. I can't work it out myself. I know Scott Greed can't work it out. But I think we'll just never know, really. And Buttle there just not getting on the end of that one as the ball goes out over the baseline for a 16-yard hit.
I think it's a known fact that hockey players seem to set a lot of trends when it comes to fashion. And the top knot is definitely one of those scenarios. The players like to utilise what they've got on top of their head. We also see some interesting sort of short back and sides. Obviously a few boys that like to head along to the barber shop, get themselves spruced up, and especially today, being on the live stream, you can see plenty of the Capital boys have obviously gone to their favourite hairdresser. I think Alex Shaw's probably one of them who's definitely keeping himself on this right-hand side and close to the cameras as he sort of wipes away a little bit of sweat off his face. He's actually not doing too much work, but he's the sun and everything sort of coming down on him, showcasing the effort that he's putting in. It's really important to look your best with today's match, you know, being streamed worldwide, and Alex Shaw's probably one of those players that wants to put his best foot forward for all the girls and boys watching, not only here at the stadium but across the country and around the world. As the Southern Dogs apply a little bit more pressure here, looking to see if they can capture themselves a goal. And me oh my, they just about got one, Ari.
You'd have to say chance gone big in there, Chris. Well worked into the circle there by Kieran O'Connor. And just going past the far post there. A lucky break there for the Cobras, who have found themselves just a little bit on the back foot recently in the last sort of couple of minutes. Obviously, the Southern Dogs winning the toss this morning. And in the event of a tie, the bronze will be decided with a boat race. And watch out for John Thorne Sr., the manager. He'll be huge as the anchor in that. Probably alongside his son, John Thorne Jr., and the danger man, Lockie Davidson.
Speaking of boat races, I'd like to sort of extend congratulations to the South Canterbury senior men who put in a spirited effort yesterday, obviously missing out on the bronze medal to Wellington in the National Senior Tournament, but they come in all guns blazing in the aftermatch and put in a very, very good display of boat racing to get a win against Wellington in the after tournament shenanigans, which is a good effort. And I think for them, the decision to keep Ben Grant off that boat race was a very, very wise one. Enabled them to come out on top.
Certainly, Chris, and yeah, I know in our final last night, you obviously losing the toss. Waikato opting to play shootouts in the event of a tie. And had that gone to a boat race instead, I think, we would have been a chance for the gold. I know we had the Sink himself, Ben Owers. We had Andrew, oh my me, Bryden, and Hogger Hayde was there to step up as well. Glenn Hayde Sr. And that was a hell of a trio for the boat race. As Capital burst forward into the circle, a few shots for a penalty corner, but Nick Saunders not having a bar of that as the Doggies clear the pill out to around halfway.
Yeah, look, it was disappointing to lose that toss and having to go to shootouts in the event of a tie. Is something that we had sort of worked for, is winning the toss. A really key aspect of hockey these days, especially with the way that the pitch plays in the second half. You want to be able to be playing the right end. It's quite an uneven surface. You know, it starts to turn and spin and bounce in the later stages of the match, and something that we weren't able to exploit. So, you know, knowing that it was going to shootout was probably something that we didn't want to do. We did have our boat race team training very hard in the off-season to get to where they were, and for them to not be able to exploit themselves last night was definitely a shame, but sometimes that happens. And you know, full credit to the Waikato boys. They knew what to do in that shootout, and quite rightly so. They got to enjoy the treats after doing plenty of mahi, and that's what sport's all about. Sometimes you put in the work and you get the rewards. Just like Capital at the moment, 3-1 ahead and playing some really good bronze medal hockey. But as we speak, the Southern Dogs earn themselves a penalty corner. Some great attack, great build-up, and just a lazy foot there by one of the Capital Cobras. Some good work, I think. That's your man, Johnny Thorne, Ari, winning the penalty corner, and the Capital boys jump in behind the goal and get themselves prepared for the onslaught that's going to come from the top of the D.
And you'll see Chris Kieran O'Connor there sitting up on the number 1, the left bracket, trapped by John Thorne Jr. And watch out for him. He's had a big off season in the gym, just working on that upper body. And there was a variation, came out to Nick Ross, out to John Thorne Jr., who sprayed it wide. A good chance there to peg one back for the Dogs. Goes begging, still score remains 3-1. Capital Cobras, as we see the replay. Shuffled out to the left. Had a pretty good look at the goal. Old mate on the post with a stick not on the ground. And you'd have to say there, Chris, perhaps maybe a chance gone begging as we nearly head into the final minute of the first half here in today's men's bronze medal match between the Ricoh Capital Cobras and the Southern Dogs.
Yeah, and again, look, it was one of those players sporting the top knot hairstyle, trying to find a way through the staunch Ricoh Capital Cobras defence, and I think they'll be happy to make sure someone with a hairstyle like that doesn't get themselves on the scoreboard. Have you ever thought about running the top knot, Ari? I mean, you've got a hell of a dome on yourself. It would be quite a style if you could provide us with a top knot, and especially with the colour.
Yeah, I don't know, Chris. You'd obviously need a headband there to keep everything in check. I don't know whether they make chance gone big in there. I don't know if they make headbands with that circumference to fit my dome. I think maybe we could use your Captain Arms band for it, maybe after Benoa's blew it out.
As the hooter goes, half-time here in the Ford NHL bronze medal match. The Ricoh Capital Cobras hanging on to a very comfortable 3-1 lead here in the first half. Probably deserved 3-1 leaders at the moment as they walk their way across to the changing rooms under the pavilion. A really good first half, I thought, Ari. I think both teams have really come to play, of throwing some really good passes, some good continuity, some good cohesion, and 4 goals in a half. You can't ask for much more. The umpires are doing their job, and it's good. So we'll cut to a break, and we'll be back with you very, very shortly.
In a high-risk environment, you need a teammate who never takes their eye off the ball. So we've got the Black Sticks to put Ford's driver assist technology to the ultimate test.
Is that a little bit close to the wall?
Nah, this will be easy.
We've got it, for sure.
Should we do it?
Yeah.
Let's go. I reckon we got this.
Radio girls, buckle up.
While the Black Sticks are focused on reaching their goal, Ford Driver Assist is on defence, helping read what's going on around them with Bliss blind spot detection. And adaptive cruise control, helping maintain a safe following distance from the car ahead. And when someone brakes suddenly, City Safe brakes automatically, helping you to stop in your tracks.
Was the braking a bit scary for you girls?
Trust Ford Driver Assist to help you stay in control.
I'm glad we didn't have to go over that.
Auckland, New Zealand, Tāmaki Makaurau, Aotearoa, a vibrant cosmopolitan city of 1.5 million people, set upon a natural playground of 48 volcanic cones, nestled between 2 dramatic coastlines. This November, we welcome the world the Hockey World League final.
To play those games against the top teams in the world, I think that's what we're really excited about.
It's nice that they're coming to our hometown now and we get to play them here.
Argentina are always fiery. They've got the skill and they've got the potential to rip open any team.
They'll be a good defensive side and they'll just pop one in at the last minute and make you really work for a win.
It'll be a little bit different having England rather than GB.
They're on the up as well. Obviously, they're the gold medalists from last year. Another European side who know how to play hockey. They pass the ball well. They play a good team game, and they've got a few dangerous strikers up front.
Korea, always a really challenging side. Their basic skills are always really high, and the Dutch, they're like the pinnacle of world hockey. For the crowd, that's amazing to watch. For us, it's actually pretty hard to deal with. The USA have just done really well, actually. They won their World League semi-final, and we know that they're a really fit and physical team.
And the home team, the Vantage Blacksticks.
Obviously, we'll have lots of our own fans there, but to have like other people come over as well, I think that's really awesome.
Our turf,
our time. Our turf, our time.
The Hockey World League final, November 17 to 26, Auckland, New Zealand. Tickets are on sale now from ticketek.co.nz.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, both domestically and internationally, to the men's bronze medal match between the Ricoh Capital Cobras and the Southern Dogs. Here from the National Hockey Stadium in the capital city, and it's an absolute cracker day. And this turf number one here, Chris, obviously with the embankment surrounding the turf and the large grandstand referred to here in Wellington as the Cobra Pit. And with Capital up 3-1, you'd have to suggest they'd credit a little bit of that lead to the fans who have been causing a ruckus for the first two quarters. A lot of noise, a lot of positive cheering, and the Ricoh Capital Cobras find themselves looking to not only defend but extend a 3-1 lead over the Southern Dogs as the two teams make their way out from the changing sheds. They've just popped in there, the Capital Cobras in for some halftime oranges, the Southern Dogs in there for a wee TriStar. And look, you've got to suggest, Chris, Lockie the Danger Man Davidson, he's fit, he's looking good. he can peg this back here for the Dogs.
Yeah, the Cobras, they're definitely hissing. They're a team that enjoys the pit, and they'll be doing all they can to extend that 3-1 halftime lead here on a beautiful, beautiful day in the capital city. The day after what was a chaotic Saturday evening, I guess, Ari, with a whole lot of stuff going on. I guess starting off with a couple of really close and really keenly fought national senior tournament finals, followed up by a really, really interesting evening of election results coming through. And as it stands, we don't really know who's in control of our country, which is quite disturbing because we want to know, you know, what's going on, what step we're taking, where we need to go, what we need to do to help this country get better. And as it stands, we're none the wiser.
Yeah, certainly, Chris. I'm not sure if we can bring up any stats or any graphics on the screen, but certainly, who knows? I'm not a politics man myself. I know that top the Opportunity Party went no good. I know that Big Winnie Blue, Winston Peters, might sort of have the beehive by the scruff of the neck. And I've heard a little bit like Nick Ross, Chris, he might have the tricks in the bag and sort of be the one that makes the difference.
Yeah, as we look at a few stats coming in straight from the beehive, we see that National, they polled 46% of the vote. Now, if we look at the many different polls that we had throughout the last sort of 4 to 5 weeks, the Colmar Brunton poll, the Paddy's poll, the I've just made up a poll scenario, we had National sort of anywhere between sort of 30 and 45. And for a lot of people, they thought that it was probably their time to pass the baton on. But as it stands, with 46% of the vote and 58 seats, they can't quite get themselves into a majority. So with Labour sitting in behind on 36% and 45 seats, they're still in the mixer. And as we know, with old Winnie the Pooh just sitting in behind there with 9 seats and 7.5% of the vote. And the Greens there with 6% and 7 seats. There's a lot of drama to be played out across hours or days or maybe even weeks to find who's going to be leading this country for the next 3 years.
Certainly, Chris. Uncle Bill English, a little bit like Tom Mellon last night on the hunt, just couldn't quite get over the line. So he'll be looking to team up to try and get it done. We're back on Bill English now, obviously, not Tom Mellon. So, you know, he might have to give Winnie the nod. So today, ladies and gentlemen, quarter 3 is what we like to call election quarter. Here, live from the National Hockey Stadium in Wellington. Capital Cobras, Southern Dogs, Capital leading 3-1. But yeah, on the text machine, obviously there's a lot of positive, some negative, a lot of positive comments coming in about the hockey. Also some about some fashion statements, headbands, a lot of TAB chat. But if you've got any election chat, maybe some other results, live updates as they have them, by all means send that through either on the Facebook feed or Joe.Bartholomew on Snapchat or 021Broseph on the text. And we'll look to keep you updated what's going on here in the National Hockey Stadium and the Beehive.
Yeah, I think it's quite fitting that we are here in the capital city for the Ford NHL. It's a great ploy from Hockey New Zealand to have the finals day, you know, immediately following a massive election day, as we can sort of sift our way through the results of what took place over a matter of weeks. It wasn't just yesterday that people were voting and making their stance on what they wanted to achieve. It's great to see people getting out and voting and throwing out early votes and special votes, and people from across the country and worldwide, as Dom Dixon makes a great save off the penalty corner as Capital look to shoot the ball into an open net. We have a little bit of drama, and Ben Wilson, he's put his hand up. He said, "Me oh my, I have not enjoyed that. That is a stroke." Nick Ross just sort of campaigning and saying, "Are you sure?" in the nicest possible way. The player-umpire relationship's very strong here in the NHL as captain fantastic Dane Lett steps up to take the penalty stroke. Ari, a fair call?
I think so, Chris. And that's not the money on the TAB speaking. That is a fair reflection, and Captain Fantastic just calmly pushes that ball into the bottom left corner. Dom Dixon making a very honourable effort to save that, but a well-taken stroke certainly, and Capital were pushed out to a 4-1 lead as we just saw the replay there. Certainly a well-taken stroke.
It was all biceps as well, just, fully loaded up and fired off those biceps well and truly. Fantastic effort. A quick update from Turf 2. Canterbury Cats taking on the Central Mystics. A 1-0 lead to the Canterbury Cats deep into the fourth quarter as they battle off for 5th place.
Just noticed Chris on the far side of the turf. Not sure if you can pick it up at home on the cameras, maybe on the wide angle. The Midlands women arriving for their gold medal match, and the bright orange obviously pretty hard to miss. So they'll be starting their warm up pretty soon. That'll interest you, Chris.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a big fan of the Midlands women. Play a very, very good style of hockey, and really excited to see what they've got to bring to the game this afternoon. Dressed in their full orange uniform, bright. It's all about the orange, as they like to say, and this afternoon is going to be an action-packed final for them as they go in search of the K-Cup. It's quite a trophy, that K-Cup. It's got a lot of history behind it. The Midlands women having lofted that trophy not too long ago. As the Cobras score another.
And that is an uncharacteristic finish there by Sebastian Buttle against his former team. But how about that celebration, Chris? That was really good to see. Pretty humble. Bumping it up to 5-1. And he's celebrated as if that was the winner for the gold. And I'm not sure if we can bring up a replay of that celebration. We'll get the goal in there if we can. But certainly a well-taken goal by Sebastian Buttle, and he'll be happy with that. Certainly earning his paycheck. He's moved, he was a proud doggy. Did 4 or 5 years down in Dunedin at the University of Otago. And making the move to the capital. I think his sort of Dunedin friends not happy with his lack of socks and his sort of fashion sense. And his haircut, I believe. So they sent him up to the capital city where he'd fit in. And boy, is he reaping the benefits today. As Saunders goes to the pocket again. And a green card there for the Capital Cobras. Nick Finlayson will find himself on the pine for 2 minutes. Can the Doggies capitalise on this 2-minute interval with the Cobras down to 10 men, danger man on the ball, and that's exactly what you want.
Yeah, and speaking of danger men, we've actually had a message come in from Parliament which is good. Good to know that they're listening. And they hear that Johnny Thorne Senior is looking to form a coalition for the government as well. So just an extra addition to what is turning out to be quite an eventful Sunday post-election. Johnny Thorne Senior, while trying to concentrate on management duties for the Southern Dogs, is also looking at different ways that he can come up with to form a coalition with the different parties on offer here in the capital city. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes, Ari. You've obviously spent a bit of time with Johnny. What do you think he could bring to the table if, in fact, Uncle Bill or Auntie Jacinda decide to go with him?
He brings a lot to the table, Chris. I know he's got some big issues at heart. A lot of good policies. I know he thinks the lines for the bars and the octagon are run pretty poorly. So I think that'd be top of his agenda. Just sort of sorting out the admission into those octagon bars down to Dunedin. I think that'd be top of the list. And then perhaps like Liam suggested on the text machine, maybe getting Junior a look in the Black Sticks. Not sure if Jacinda can help him with that, so perhaps he gives the nod to Bill English there, Chris.
Yeah, look, I'd really like to pose the question to both Bill and Jacinda about what can they do for hockey in New Zealand and what can they do for the Vantage Black Sticks. You know, as a government, I think it's a top priority that, you know, they really take steps to take, you know, Hockey New Zealand to a new level. And there's many different ways they can do that, but, you know, I'm really interested to see what they can and what they will do. There's a lot of talk about finance, there's a lot of talk about tax, there's a lot of talk about healthcare, there's a lot of talk about a whole lot of different things, but, you know, at the heart of this country will be hockey in the next 10 to 15 years, and, you know, we really hope that with Johnny Thorne, you know, looking to form a coalition, that Auntie Jacinda or Uncle Bill can really step up and say, hey, look, this is what we're doing. This is what we want to happen. As Capital find the back of the net, but Ben Wilson blowing his whistle just a little bit prematurely. And they'll have to fight their way through a penalty corner to extend their lead. 5-1 and 7 minutes remaining in this third quarter.
And certainly, Chris, we encourage both Bill and Jacinda, if they're listening, to do contribute on the text machine or on that Facebook live feed. We'd love to hear their thoughts on the election, on how the game's playing out on this penalty corner, certainly. As Captain Fantastic sets up, he'll have a go. And John Thorne just blowing up. Believed it hit him on the glove, which of course is part of the stick, but Ben Wilson says, no sir, there was your shin pad, get back in the goal, mate. We'll have another penalty corner.
And if we just sort of scatter our eyes across to turf 2, in the fourth quarter, the Central Mystics have really turned it on, and within 2 minutes, gone from 1-0 down to 2-1 up. Hope Ralph with a couple of goals to her name, as we see another goal from Captain Fantastic and Mr. Biceps himself, Dane Lett. Shrugs it off as though it's a regular thing for him, and the Capital Cobras, they just jog back to halfway. With a 6-1 lead, 6.5 minutes remaining in this third quarter.
Yeah, 6.5 minutes remaining in the election quarter here, quarter 3, in the men's bronze medal match here in the Snake Pit. The Ricoh Capital Cobras against the Southern Dogs. The Dogs, after a good start, Chris, finding themselves 5 goals down, and it's hard to know what to make of that, Chris.
Yeah, maybe they've run out of steam. it's obviously a tough week for them, and you know the weather is quite hot today, and it's yeah, it is a tough battle for them. But look, they're still trying to put their best foot forward. As we just have a text come in from Bill English to say that there's almost 400,000 votes still to be counted from the election. So it's not over. There's no decisions being made yet, and that could really change things over the next sort of days or weeks.
Has he alluded at all, Chris, to whether he'll give the nod to Winston Peters or John Thorne?
Yeah, at this stage he said his preference would be John Thorne. He likes the way that he runs a campaign. He likes the way that he brings culture, and he feels as though that between the two of them they could really take this country forward. But as we know, with 400,000 votes still to come through, it's still a long way to go, and I'm sure Winston Peters will be out on the boat trying to bring in a few snapper, just enjoying the serenity of the far north. He's got plenty to ponder as he makes his decision about where he wants to go. But yeah, with Johnny Thorne lingering in the wings, it's going to be tough for Winnie to really stamp his mark on what could be a sort of extraordinary government that New Zealand look to run over the next few years.
And what approach does Winston Peters have to come in with, Chris? Obviously, John Thorne with some strong policies on the octagon and sort of couch fires in Dunedin. How does he contest that?
Yeah, it's going to be tough, I think, for Winston. Johnny's got a lot of backers, especially here in the capital today and here at the Ford NHL. He's definitely, a fan favourite, and I think that's what the country needs. We need someone that we can rely on. We need someone that we can trust, and we need someone that can bring a bit of excitement to the country. Speaking of excitement, the Capital Cobras look to push through. Also, just got a text in from Joseph Parker. Ari, he has retained his WBO heavyweight title. Just a quick text to say, hey guys, thanks for your support. Was able to win. Didn't quite get the knockout, but he got the judges on his side, which is sometimes a difficult task in the sport of boxing. But I think a comprehensive victory for Joseph, and yeah, it's good to him to text in, immediately after his result to say that he's fine, he's feeling good, and ready to take on his next challenge. So massive congratulations to him, and I'm sure he's sitting there patiently waiting to hear about Bill English, Johnny Thorne, and Winston Peters and what they're going to do with the country over the next few years.
Yeah, so Parker by decision, Chris, and in the last 8 hours or so, that's probably one of the only good decisions, really, we can think of. I know Garen Fife and Tom Mallon had some poor decisions sort of recently, so Parker by decision. It's good to hear that there are some positive decisions still being made around the world as the Southern Dogs win a penalty corner here in quarter 3. The election quarter with 2:13 remaining, and Chris, you'd have to say this has to go in really to pick it back to 6-2, with then a further 4 goals to peg back to go to the boat race.
Yeah, look, and I hope that they make a smart decision of what they do here. You talk about it, decisions are crucial in the scheme of things, not only on the turf but off the turf. And yeah, it's disappointing sometimes people make wrong decisions, and sometimes they go off their head, sometimes they go off their heart. Sometimes they go with a carry hit off the PC, which was that the best decision, Ari? I'm not too sure. But as it's Nick Ross just quietly brings the ball in, and I didn't enjoy that. Nick Saunders blowing it up. Dangerous play, but yes, no, decisions are crucial in the scheme of things, and yeah, you know, you can only sort of hope that Tom Allen and Garen Fife sort of think about what they've done, where they've been, and you know, just look to come back a little bit stronger, a little bit better, and you know, really take a few lessons from what they've been doing. As the Cobras attack again, ball just ends up over the baseline. The crowd's really starting to build here at the National Hockey Stadium. Plenty of dust floating around, plenty of excitement among us all as we gear up for what's going to be an electric Forward NHL women's final between Bailey's Midlands. The team decked out in a beautiful orange, sparkling orange. You can see them from a mile away, can you? And they'll be going up against Northland, who I think have really deserved their place in the final this year, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out later this afternoon.
Yeah, certainly, Chris, they've done well, topping their pool, obviously. Undefeated this year, aren't they? This week, sorry. And that's going to be a cracker final. Then that's up next after the conclusion of this match. Is the third quarter, the election quarter, comes to a close with the match blowing out here. The Rico Capital Cobras 6, the Southern Dogs 1, and Chris, is that the game wrapped up, or do the Doggies have a little bit left in the tank?
Yeah, look, a fourth quarter is 15 minutes to go. You'd think 5 goals might be a bit of a tough ask, but I'm sure they're gonna give it a crack. And yeah, look, you know, you've only got 15 minutes left in your tournament, 15 minutes left in your year, and I'm sure the Capital Cobras will be pretty comfortable with what they are, but the Dogs, you know, they're going to come back and they're going to show some bite in this final quarter. As you know, the text machine keeps rolling in, and we appreciate plenty of positive feedback, so thank you, Susan Dunn, for that. We appreciate the feedback that we're getting. It's a beautiful afternoon here in Wellington, as we've just sort of ticked over into just past midday, as the afternoon really starts to take shape. The wind starts to pick up, as we can only imagine here in Wellington, Ari, and me oh my, we're in for a bit of a treat over the next few hours.
Certainly are, Chris. And as we see there, just a 2-minute intermission, Nick Ross having some pretty stern words to his fellow Dogs. What do you think the message is there, Chris? 5 goals down, 15 minutes left in the campaign. How does he direct his troops?
Yeah, look, I think from what I could see coming out of his mouth is it's not about the size of the dog in the fight. It's about the size of the fight in the dog, or something along those lines. So, you know, why not? Let's give it a crack, boys. Let's have a go. Let's really take it to the Cobras in this final 15 minutes. There's no time like now. And let's do this team proud.
It's a good intercept there from Capital as they burst forward into the circle. She's scrappy, hitting a foot. And umpire Ben Wilson awarding a penalty corner. Nick Ross again arguing his case. Ben Wilson remaining firm in his decision. We look at the replay, yeah, a bit of frustration. Just striking the foot after a bit of stir-fry in front of goal. Bit of messy play. And Chris, what do you go? Will we see a variation? Obviously, Captain Fantastic Dane Lett been a weapon so far from penalty corner time. Do you think he just goes, look, boys, I'm hot, just give it to me? in sort of Tom Leo fashion, or does he sort of, with the game probably locked up, go to a variation? We'll see right now.
Yeah, look, I think the humility of the man has said, look, I'm happy for someone else to get a few goals. And they look to run the wide right, didn't quite come off. So, yeah, it's good to see. I think, when you're as hot as you are, but with, already a number of goals to your name, it's good to share it around and see what other guys can do, especially at penalty corner time. As Harry Muscombe makes a really good tackle there, and the Cobras look to step forward. Ari, who's impressed you today in this Cobras outfit? They've obviously put in a pretty good effort and looks as though they're going to come away with the bronze medal. Who would you say has been a sort of a key factor for them?
I mean, Chris, it's hard to go past the captain himself, number 88, Dane Lett. A couple of penalty corner drag foot goals, but goals aside, Chris, he's rallied his troops. He's been communicating, he's been running a good cutter, much like yourself, and he's been instrumental for the Cobras, not only today but this week. And then I think Benedict Van Workum up front, sporting a hell of a top knot, but also with a very good goal in that first quarter, and he's been running a muck up front, causing nuisance for the Doggies fullbacks. And he's also played a big part in what we will assume will be a comfortable win for the Ricoh Capital Cobras here in the bronze medal match.
Yeah, and I'd like to, I guess, pay a special mention to Hockey New Zealand and their hospitality today. We've got a state-of-the-art commentary box. It's quite delightful when you get to be up here, sort of commentating out of a boot and, straight into the wind. You've got all the conditions. You can feel the game. You can feel the atmosphere. And it's really, really good to know that we're being looked after here. So we're lucky that the sun is out. Otherwise, Ari should be pretty wet.
I don't know about that, mate. I'm not sure if we can get some sunblock run up here at all. I see the stands filling up. Just sort of scanning my eyes, see if anyone's got the SPF 30 plus down there. Or on the live stream, if someone could run some of the National Hockey Stadium. The snozzers getting peppered. Yeah, certainly Chris, we're just out of the card boot with a pretty shoddy thrown up marquee as well. I'm not sure if Barry on camera one can sort of do a pan to the comm box, but the infrastructure here at Wellington and Capital Hockey, Chris, the comm box obviously is still under construction.
Yeah, it is a good facility here. The third turf, I think, adds a good dimension to it, and I think these days 3 turfs at a facility is what you need, and Wellington have been able to provide a really good 3 turf facility, and it's, I think, added to the atmosphere of the tournament, and that's why you see a number of people starting to roll in as we look forward to the 2 finals, the K-Cup final and the Challenge Shield. The stand will be packed. The atmosphere within this number 1 turf here at the National Hockey Stadium, you don't get it at many places around the country. The natural amphitheatre really adds to the environment, and we're really looking forward to what's going to be a really exciting.
Yeah, certainly, Chris, and as the wind picks up here across the stand that is filling up, we can just see a massive layer of dust blowing off a few of the punters. And I tell you what, there'll be some dusty characters tomorrow, Chris.
There sure will be, as the Cobras, look, they're still looking to attack, still playing their very constructive and well-structured game. Jared Jones finds some space out on the right-hand flank. I've been very impressed with the Cobras today, Ari. I'm sure they would have been disappointed that they couldn't, play in front of their home crowd in today's final. But they've really come out here today and put on a bit of a display. And I think that's what you want, especially playing off for a medal. It's never easy to end up, with a medal around your neck at the Ford NHL, as you would know. And I think today they've really gone out there and said, we want that bronze medal, we want to put on a show, and their display of hockey has been, you could say, pretty clutch.
Absolutely, Chris, as we see there, just again, another ball going across the spot with the keeper beaten. The Cobras have been good. They will consider themselves hard done by not being in the big dance in a few hours' time, but I think, Chris, what's really positive to see, 6-1 up, 9 to go. Surely the game would be locked up. It'd be pretty easy to call smoko early and sort of take the foot off the gas, but they're hungry for more. They want to finish this campaign how they started, with a hiss and a roar, and they're still putting immense pressure on the doggies, looking to extend what is a 5-goal lead at the score 6-1. Capital Cobras over the Dogs, as we just see an absolute mess of bodies in front of goal. The ball did end up going in the goal, I think, there, Chris, but umpire Ben Wilson again saying no gentleman will have a penalty corner.
Yeah, pretty scrappy in front of goal. I think it's always tough as an umpire to kind of let that play go on, but probably the right decision there, and the Cobras will look to maybe Captain Fantastic again, Dane Lett at the top of the battery. Or will they look for another variation here to extend their lead with 8.5 minutes remaining?
That's a massive save there by Dom Dixon in the goal. Diving low to his stick side, his right. A good flick to the bottom left corner as we look at it. And Dom Dixon up to the task on that occasion. As Capital just continue this pressure, Chris, I mean, the Doggies barely sort of been over halfway in this quarter. The Cobras here in the snake pit just looking to keep that foot down and really, really win that third place, and perhaps making a bit of a statement, Chris, to say, we've wrapped up bronze pretty comfortably here. Perhaps we should have been contesting that final.
Yeah, I think you'll find I refer to as the Cobra pit, especially the Cobra on the bank there. Yeah, it's always, once you get to that semi-final stage, it's always a tough one to get yourself through to that final, and the Capital boys obviously going down in a tight one against Auckland, so to come out here and to play the way they have is, I think, is a true credit to the team, and him and Lala, I'm sure, would have really rallied the boys after that loss and said, we've got to make sure that we come away with the treats. So yeah, a really bold statement for them, and something to be able to look back on over the next few weeks and be proud of the effort, especially on home turf. First time that NHL's been down this way for a few years, and while they haven't come away with the gold, they'll be pretty pleased to come away with the medal, as we sort of have 6.5 minutes remaining, and Southern Dogs try to find their way through the staunch Capital defence, but couldn't quite come away with a goal there.
And I'll tell you what, for those at home, it is really starting to heat up here in the capital city. The sun beaming down. There's a little bit of wind, keeping the players a little bit cooler, I guess. Not strong enough to really be impacting the game in any sense, but perfect conditions for finals hockey. Up next, obviously, the K-Cup final between Midlands and Northland. But the Capital Cobras today, Chris, a pretty almost faultless performance. Found themselves 1 goal down, but since then, certainly, Chris, coming out with 6 unanswered goals to have the game wrapped up as we are about to enter the final 5 minutes of the bronze medal match. It was positive from the Dogs. A good injection down the right-hand baseline, but well defended by the Capital as they counter with an overhead. Buddle throws the stick. He'll probably regret that when he sees that on the replay. He could have gone for a double there, and I don't know what celebration he would have pulled out then. But hopefully equally, if not better, than the last one. Here he is. Turns his back. Will he have a dig? Does some weird spin thing. Leaves the ball behind.
He's not happy about that either.
He's shaking his head, Chris.
He's not impressed, and he's just sort of taking a tap on the back from Matt Moore, who's just said, hard luck, mate. But you can't fault the effort from both teams out here today, and you see we've gone from end to end. Capital hot on attack, and now the Dogs pick up the ball in the circle. Danger Davidson again on the ball, but couldn't quite find his way through. He has been dangerous. I have been impressed with Danger Davidson, Ari. He's got a lot of ticker. Coming out of Christchurch and finding his way down to Dunedin for university, and hence why he's playing for the Doggies. He has probably not enough chances to be able to really fire, but he has been good in a team that you have to say would, on the day, have been second best.
Yeah, certainly, Chris. I know we talked about Dane Lett for the Capital Cobras, the influence he's had. Josh Smith on the text machine wanting to know our thoughts on the most valuable players for the match. And obviously we've given Dane Lett the nod. But Chris, you'd have to say for the Dogs, would you give the nod to Danger Man Davo?
Yeah, I think him along with Nick Ross in the middle there, who's obviously controlled a lot of their play and a lot of their attacks. So we see another shot come in that's gone wide. A lot of chances, I guess, from the Southern Dogs that have gone wide today. They'll be a little bit disappointed they haven't really tested out the Capital keeper. Plenty of shots just going, half a metre wide, and for the keeper it's easy for them just to acknowledge and let it go over the baseline and get the defenders to reset from an outlet. So yeah, Ross, Davidson, I think have been very good. And I have been impressed with Malachi Bushell as well, for a young guy playing in his first NHL. Saw him playing at Rankin Cup only a couple of weeks ago, and he was one of the best players there. And to see him step up to this level is, I think, a really good effort from him, and probably one to watch over the next few years, whether it be in a Southern Dogs uniform or whether he chooses to take his exploits elsewhere once he finishes school. I'm sure most teams, most regions around the country will enjoy his presence wherever he may end up.
And Buddle again, Chris. He could have had about 4 goals by now, I think. Man open on the post. Elects to flick the ball at the goalkeeper.
Yeah, look, as we see the replay there, found himself in a little bit of space and just couldn't quite come away with the treats as we're counting down. Just less than 2 minutes to go in this bronze medal match at the Ford NHL, the Rico Capital Cobras. They'll finish in third, and the Southern Dogs in fourth. A very good performance from them. But today, it's all about the Cobras, it's all about the Cobra Pit, it's all about the capital city, and a fantastic effort from them.
Absolutely, Chris. Dangerous ball there. Well picked up there by the Capital defence. And I mean, look, Chris, the TAB predicted this. Hence their odds. They had Capital as favourites, and early on at a 1-0 lead for the Dogs, Richard Story thought he was in the money there. His week's wage going on that. But so often the TAB get it wrong, Chris, and Capital, since finding themselves 1-0 down after only a couple of minutes in that first quarter, have really put the foot down. And as we see, as we go into the final 30 seconds of the men's bronze medal match, Capital 6, Southern 1. And is there time for one last goal? We've had 7, Chris. Plenty of action for the fans as Nick Cummins, the Honey Badger, makes a run up the middle. Gets the ball back and spray wide, and that probably sums it up there, Chris, for the Southern Dogs, really, doesn't it? Just almost, but not really.
Yeah, just another chance that they've failed to put on goal, and in games like these you need to hit the target. So there we have it as the hooter sounds. Illustrious applause from the many fans we have in the Ricoh Capital Cobras, coming away with a very convincing 6-1 victory, and for them wrapping up a deserved bronze medal here at the Ford NHL in 2017.
Absolutely, Chris. Congratulations to the Ricoh Capital Cobras, but the Southern Dogs as well. Let's not forget them. They've fought hard all week. Came out of pool play well, obviously winning their quarterfinal. Defeat yesterday to North Harbour in the semi, and then just, I guess, running out of legs in the bronze medal match. But, you know, they'll be happy with that campaign, you know, in the top half, ahead of 4 very good teams. And like you said earlier, Chris, you know, it is hard to make the top 4 here at NHL, so congratulations to both teams. And that ends our coverage, ladies and gentlemen, of the men's and women's, the men's bronze medal match between the Ricoh Capital Cobras. 6 goals to the Southern Dogs, 1. We'll take a break and be back with the K-Cup final between Northland and Midlands. Thank you.
Auckland, New Zealand, Tāmaki Makaurau, Aotearoa, a vibrant cosmopolitan city of 1.5 million people, set upon a natural playground of 48 volcanic cones, nestled between 2 dramatic coastlines. This November, we welcome the world, the Hockey World League Final.
To play those games against the top teams in the world, I think that's what we're really excited about.
It's nice that they're coming to our hometown now and we get to play them here.
Argentina are always fiery. They've got the skill and they've got the potential to rip open any team.
They'll be a good defensive side and they'll just pop one in at the last minute and make you really work for a win.
It'll be a little bit different having England rather than GB.
They're on the up as well. Obviously, they're the gold medalists from last year. Another European side who know how to play hockey. They pass the ball well, they play a good team game, and they've got a few dangerous strikers up front.
Korea, always a really challenging side. Their basic skills are always really high, and the Dutch, they're like the pinnacle of world hockey. For the crowd, that's amazing to watch. For us, it's actually pretty hard to deal with. The USA have just done really well, actually. They won their World League semi-final, and we know that they're a really fit and physical team.
And the home team, the Vantage Blacksticks.
Obviously, we'll have lots of our own fans there, but to have like other people come over as well, I think that's really awesome.
Our turf,
our time. Our turf, our time.
The Hockey World League Final, November 17 to 26, Auckland, New Zealand. Tickets are on sale now from ticketek.co.nz.